I want to give another quick book recommendation to you guys. The book I just finished is Lies My Teacher Told Me by James Loewen. I would divide the book in half. I'd probably say that half of it goes over different lies that are told in American history books and other social sciences, for example, like social studies and things like that. The other half really covers, for example, how the lies got there and why they're there. So the first half that I just mentioned was about what the lies are. It goes over everything from, the time of Columbus when he first came over, the voyages that he had and the landings and the things that happened on Haiti and his interactions with the Native Americans. It also goes over the founding of the country. The book talks about the Civil War, Reconstruction era, has a whole lot of stuff about the Wilson administration. I was a history major in college, and I learned some stuff I didn't even realize about Woodrow Wilson. It talks about the Civil Rights Movement, gives a lot of emphasis on that. Another thing it talks about was the Vietnam War, a lot of things that went on during then. The first Persian Gulf War, it talks about that. Another thing big was the environmental movement. Another big thing, also the War on Terror, September 11th, and the First and Second Iraq Wars. Pretty interesting there. Then as far as how the lies get there, it talks about, for example, one area talks about how a lot of teachers, they want to avoid controversy in the classroom. They would rather have what's called classroom management, meaning keeping control of the class, as opposed to talking about any type of controversial issue and that nature. They don't want to have some heated debate. Which is funny because that wasn't my experience in school. I had a great, at least for my senior year, I had a great U.S. government teacher, and he didn't stray away at all from controversy. In fact, every week we had to write a paper. It was at least a page long about different controversial things that are going on in society. But nonetheless, that's how the lies get there. One of the things that teachers don't want to get involved in heated debates and controversies. Another thing there is that textbook publishers put it there. For example, a lot of conservative states where they have state textbook adoption boards, like for all their states, they already modify the book to fit their audience, and even though they already self-censor in that way, they find that they actually have to do even more censorship a lot of times. I mean, I hope I'm not the first to tell you about the example of Texas, for Texas is the largest textbook purchaser, and they have a lot of influence over what goes on in textbooks. So another area is for example, that the left and the right now, since the Civil Rights Movement in the past 10, 15, 20 years, the left has gotten a little bit more involved in this, especially like in California. They're being a little more assertive as to put things in that, for example, I would say that they're trying to be like a pothole or a roadblock to a lot of the things that the conservatives don't want put in. And for example, I would say for example, the fact that many of the U.S. presidents before the Civil War, they were slave owners. Well, a lot of the people on the right, they wouldn't want that mentioned in textbooks, even though it's factually true. They don't want that mentioned. So that's one thing that really gets talked about. But other than that, I highly recommend it. You're going to be you would really enjoy the book if you haven't read this book, especially if you haven't read a history book in a couple years. Once again, the book is Lies My Teacher Told Me, James Loewen. The next book I'm reading, I'll go ahead and show you, is right here. It's Your Misfortune and None of My Own by Richard White. It's a book about the U.S., about the American West and the frontier area and all that. It goes from 16th century up to about like the 1980s, 1990s, something like that. So it should be a pretty interesting book. Other than that, if you got a book you want to recommend, if you want to recommend to me and I can read it and review it, send it on over. Let me know about it. I love reading different kind of books and learning new things. So other than that, thanks for watching and see you soon.